Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're tackling something that pretty much all of us have experienced, but, very few actually understand. We are decoding the real, science-backed reasons why our brains completely refuse to shut off at night. So if you've ever felt super frustrated by a mind that just suddenly wakes up the exact second your head hits the pillow, let's get started.
Paint this picture in your head for a second. It's 2 a.m. The house is completely quiet, the lights are out, and there you are, literally staring at the exact same spot on the ceiling for what feels like hours. Your brain is running an absolute marathon, right? You're replaying conversations from earlier in the day, maybe mapping out your entire future step by step, or, and this is my personal favorite, deeply analyzing some completely random awkward moment from 5 years ago that nobody else even remembers. Man, it's exhausting, isn't it?
Okay, let's dive into this and reframe the whole situation. See, society and even well-meaning doctors are incredibly quick to just slap a label on this. They call it insomnia, severe stress, or an anxiety disorder. Basically, they tell you something's broken. But modern psychology, it tells us a completely different story. Lying awake, lost in your own thoughts, doesn't mean you're broken at all. Actually, it's often a hidden sign of a highly active, complex mind. You're just operating on a much higher level of thinking.
Section 1, Hyperconnectivity and Reflection. So the first concept we really need to look at is hyperconnectivity. Highly intelligent people often overthink, sure, but it isn't out of anxiety. It's because your brain has this inherent drive to connect literally everything it encounters. It's like a supercomputer that just refuses to rest until it sees the full picture. Think about your day. You're busy, rushing around, constantly surrounded by distractions. But at night, the silence of your bedroom strips all those daylight distractions away. Your mind finally gets that uninterrupted space it's been begging for all day to process all those subtle patterns and details. It's basically putting a giant puzzle together, and it flat out refuses to shut down until that puzzle is complete.
And this brilliantly illustrates our second mechanism, cognitive reflection. People with highly active minds don't just blindly react to the world around them, they reflect on it. Cognitive reflection is your psychological ability to question your initial instincts and analyze situations deeply. While other people might just make small talk and immediately move on, a highly intelligent mind analyzes consequences in mere milliseconds. You're constantly reviewing your choices. So at night, your brain is actively reading between the lines of the day's conversations. It's recognizing subtle shifts in tone and emotion that you naturally picked up on. You've got to realize this isn't senseless worrying. This is complex problem solving happening during your quietest hours.
Section 2, Craving the Inner World.
Studies actually show that highly intelligent people genuinely crave space for ideas and deep thought. Think about it. During the day, society demands shallow small talk, noisy environments, and endless draining distractions. If you have a complex mind, you likely find all of that incredibly exhausting. But contrast that with nighttime processing. At night, you're completely alone in quiet solitude. Psychologists note that people who actually enjoy this quiet time usually possess a much stronger inner world. So, you're staying awake because you are actually recharging in that silence. Your rich inner world is simply way more stimulating and fascinating to you than the noisy, superficial outside world you have to deal with all day long.
Section 3, the Metacognition Engine.
This brings us to a phenomenal psychological concept called metacognition. It's defined as the psychological ability to think about your own thinking. Pretty wild, right? High intelligence very often comes paired with this exact trait. When you're lying in bed, you aren't just overthinking the world, you're actively analyzing yourself. You're looking at your own behaviors, seeing your own flaws with crystal clarity, and strategizing your personal growth. Now, it is totally true that this intense self-awareness can make confidence a bit harder to maintain. And yeah, it definitely makes sleep much harder to achieve. But make no mistake, this metacognitive process is the exact engine driving your continuous evolution as a person.
Section 4, Mastering Cognitive Offloading. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that it introduces the actionable scientific solution to help this intellectually hungry mind finally get some rest.
The answer lies in something called cognitive offloading. Because your mind is so intellectually active, it naturally struggles to send the physical signal to your body to just slow down. Cognitive offloading is the intentional act of telling your nervous system that it is finally safe to rest. You see, when you don't intentionally offload these complex thoughts, your brain basically stays locked in highly active beta waves. To actually fall asleep, your brain must naturally shift into a relaxed alpha state. Without offloading, you stay stuck in beta and sleep remains entirely out of reach, no matter how physically tired your body feels.
So how do we actually do this?
Well, we need to give your brain very specific physical cues to signal safety. Step 1 is the 3-2-1 power down rule. The absolute most important part of this is intentionally stopping all complex problem solving at least 2 hours before bed. You've got to draw a hard boundary for your brain. Step 2 is journaling. Now, this isn't just writing about your day, it's a mechanical process. By physically writing down your hyperconnected thoughts, your metacognitive self-analysis, and all those puzzle pieces we talked about, you're effectively moving them out of your head and onto the page. This is the physical cue your nervous system desperately needs to finally drop from those active beta waves down into relaxing alpha waves.
So the crucial point is beautifully summarized by this thought. You aren't just a stressed out insomniac. You simply have a mind that is wired for deeper thinking. The next time you find yourself awake at 2 a.m., lost in a sea of thoughts, I really want you to stop beating yourself up. Remember this explainer. You have a complex brain that inherently craves depth, and it simply needs the complete, uninterrupted silence of the night to process its wonderfully rich inner world. Validate that experience, use cognitive offloading, and give yourself some grace.
I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Now that you know your midnight mind is actually a powerful engine of intelligence and reflection, how will you use your highly active mind tomorrow? If you loved exploring the fascinating psychology behind human behavior today, and you want to keep decoding why we think and act the way we do, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're going to keep breaking down the complexities of the human mind, one explainer at a time. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.